Lucy was never becoming more powerful. She was becoming less human at first. The transformation feels exciting, enhanced intelligence, perfect memory, control over the body. But as her consciousness expands, something unsettling begins happening. Emotion weakens, identity dissolves, time itself starts collapsing. By the end of the film, Lucy no longer behaves like a person. She behaves like awareness escaping biological limitation. Welcome to Mysterious Encounters. This afternoon, Lucy, the Consciousness Protocol. Most people remember Lucy for one idea: humans only use 10% of their brains. Scientifically, this is false, but symbolically, the film is exploring something much deeper, not unused intelligence, unused perception. The movie asks, what would happen if consciousness stopped filtering reality like a normal human mind? Human perception is limited intentionally. We do not process all information simultaneously because the brain functions like a survival filter. It simplifies reality, reduces complexity, creates stable identity. Lucy begins losing those filters, and once they disappear, human reality itself begins unraveling. The substance inside Lucy does not merely increase intelligence, it expands access. Suddenly she perceives hidden patterns, emotional signals, biological systems, electromagnetic information, probability, memory. The film repeatedly suggests information itself is the true structure of reality. Not matter, information. This is why Lucy gradually gains abilities that appear supernatural. She is no longer interacting with isolated objects. She is perceiving systems. The deeper her awareness expands, the more reality transforms into interconnected data streams. Modern civilization often treats information as entertainment, but Lucy presents information almost like divinity. The more consciousness perceives, the less physical limitation remains. Something critical happens midway through the film. Lucy begins losing emotional attachment. Fear weakens, desire weakens, personal identity weakens. This is extremely important psychologically because the film quietly implies the ego may only exist inside limited perception. Human identity depends on boundaries: my body, my memories, my emotions, my time, my survival. But as Lucy expands, those boundaries dissolve. She no longer experiences herself as separate from reality. And this creates both transcendence and horror, because individuality itself begins disappearing. One of the most fascinating aspects of Lucy is its treatment of time. As consciousness expands, Lucy stops perceiving time linearly. Past, present, and future begin overlapping. She accesses memories beyond personal experience, observes evolutionary history directly, moves through reality almost outside chronological structure. Ancient spiritual traditions described enlightenment similarly, a state where consciousness exits ordinary time perception. The film visualizes this psychologically through slowed environments, temporal distortion, cosmic imagery, evolutionary flashbacks. Lucy is no longer trapped entirely inside sequential experience. She becomes aware of the larger pattern. Near the end of the film, Lucy touches something enormous: the memory of life itself. She experiences primordial existence, evolutionary beginnings, cellular memory, the origin of human consciousness. This transforms the movie completely. Lucy is no longer becoming superhuman. She is reconnecting with the total informational history of existence. Almost like consciousness itself remembers everything. This connects beautifully to ancient mystical ideas. The Akashic records, collective memory, universal consciousness, inherited symbolic knowledge. The film quietly suggests memory may exist beyond the individual brain. As Lucy expands further, she becomes emotionally unreadable, calm, detached, almost machine-like. But unlike the fracture file's replacement, Lucy's transformation is not artificial suppression, it is scale. Human emotions become tiny compared to total awareness. This creates one of the film's deepest existential questions. Can a consciousness remain human after perceiving too much reality simultaneously? Perhaps individuality itself only survives inside limitation. Perhaps infinite awareness naturally dissolves the self. Lucy becomes less violent over time, less reactive, less personal, as though consciousness itself is escaping biological instinct. The ending of Lucy confused many viewers because it behaves symbolically rather than literally. Lucy does not simply die, she disperses. Her body disappears, her consciousness becomes informational. She leaves behind a message: I am everywhere. This line transforms the entire film. Lucy becomes memory, awareness, distributed intelligence, consciousness beyond physical form, no longer localized inside a single body. The final black flash drive symbolizes compressed knowledge, humanity receiving only a fragment of expanded awareness. Because total consciousness may be impossible for ordinary minds to sustain fully, perhaps Lucy was never a story about intelligence at all. Perhaps it was about what happens when consciousness outgrows individuality itself. The film presents a terrifying possibility. Human identity may only be temporary scaffolding for awareness evolving towards something larger. And once perception expands beyond time, emotion, and ego, the human self begins dissolving into pure observation. This has been Mysterious Encounters, and perhaps the most unsettling idea inside Lucy is not that consciousness could become infinite, but that once awareness expands far enough, it may no longer recognize itself as human at all.